right now. Over at Pro Football Focus, they have this as the 9th rated power rank team heading in to 2021, but their projection, and again, how they do this is they simulate the season 10,000 times, take an average of how it comes out 10,000 times, only came out to 8.8 wins for them. And I think what happens with these teams in this division is probably in those simulations, they just beat up on each other so incredibly much that it comes out a little bit lower. But yes, 8.8 wins for this team. The offensive line, 9th in the NFL entering 2021. As we mentioned, Trent Williams was the highest graded tackle in the NFL in 2020. They paid him like that. Mike McGlinchey on the right side, one of the best run blocking tackles in football. He graded out as a 91.3 on the run blocking side last season. He could improve a little bit on his pass blocking, but again, he plays on the right side, and Trent Williams is over there on the left side. He's still very, very good. Left guard Layton Tomlinson is coming off his best season ever. He's another one of those offensive linemen, a really, really good run blocker, just a beast in the run blocking game. And as you can see, this 49ers team has been wildly successful running the ball the last couple of seasons. Alex Mack will be there, as we mentioned, signed him as a free agent. Now, he's going to be 36 this year, and so definitely on the downside of his career, but still a guy that is going to produce at certainly above a replacement level type thing. So, I mean, he's going to be better than your average player out there. But again, at 36, Alex Mack been around the block a while, probably going to only a couple seasons left for him. The defensive line, another strength for this team if they can stay healthy. We're rating this team off of the thought that they're going to be healthy, so 9th rated headed into the season because you get Nick Bosa and Dee Ford back from injury to pair with Arik Armstead for a pretty ferocious pass rush should that play out. I mean, should these guys continue to be able to stay healthy over the course of the season. The problem is it just hasn't really played out that way for them. Javon Kinlaw on the inside, he was actually pretty bad last year, but that might be more of a product of the situation than the actual player himself, like not really having a lot of help on that line because of all those injuries, and he was getting a lot of attention. So I'm going to look at that more as a little bit of an aberration for him because he has been a pretty solid player over the course of his career. I think this defensive, the real question mark really is going to come, in the secondary for this team. They're going to, in a division that they're in that we expect to be one of the better, if not the best and most competitive divisions in all the league, with as much talent as these teams have, not only at the quarterback position, but at the wide receiver position. Are they going to be able to cover? And can Nick Bosa and Dee Ford stay healthy enough to where they're going to be able to get some pressure on those really, those stud quarterbacks that are in this division? I mean, they are going to be playing Kyler Murray twice. They're going to be playing Matt Stafford twice. They're going to be playing Russell Wilson twice. So, 6 games against 3 very above average, if not elite quarterbacks, if you want to kind of put Russell Wilson and Matthew Stafford in that conversation. So, if you look at Kyle Shanahan, you start to break this down, Gil, and everyone just talks about, Kyle Shanahan and Kyle Shanahan's offense and, this magician and all this stuff. And so I went and you look. Now, this is DVOA, and that's not the end-all, be-all to everything, but, I trust these guys, and certainly these guys with their advanced metrics know more than I do. Kyle Shanahan has only produced a top 10 offense 3 times in the last 10 seasons.
Is that right?
Yeah. 3 times has he had a top 10 offense in the last 10 seasons. And so as much as we look at this guy as this offensive guru and this guy that's like this crazy good, play caller and all this stuff, only 3 times, and once with RG3, once with Matt Ryan, and then once with Jimmy Garoppolo.
I was going to say that must extend all the way back to 2012, and great rookie season of RG3.
It was the RG3 season, 1 season with Matt Ryan, and then wow, there you go, Gil.
I got my Doppler out, and there's the rain in Philly. Yeah, tarp is on the field.
That is coming on down there. Yeah, so you look at this and you say okay. If he's not really maybe this guru, and he's not really this guy that's like this unbelievable offensive mind or something like that, wouldn't it even make more sense to go with a Trey Lance than it would a Jimmy Garoppolo, to add a completely new element to the offense, to get back to, like you're saying, the heyday when he had RG3?
So the beauty of Kyle Shanahan is that he's been able to conform his X's and O's to the type of quarterback that he has. I think that's the greatest compliment you could say of any coach. That was like Joe Gibbs' greatest thing, winning 3 Super Bowls with 3 different types of quarterbacks. Not nearly as stark in contrast as the ones that Kyle Shanahan has had, by the way, where football's a totally different game, a lot more of running quarterbacks involved. I just think from a betting truth serum standpoint, which I always like to tell, like, I was mentioning to Spora this morning, if I'm on the team in extra innings, that's that's the road team and they don't score, I definitely don't want the home team bunting. That's how I know that's the right move. We haven't seen Trey Lance, but there's nothing about Jimmy G that terrifies you.
No.
And so to have to prepare for a guy that's multidimensional, if he is as good as they're saying, yeah, that would sound like it's the right move.
And to kind of get back to if, and here's the thing, I'm not completely saying, like I said, that these DVOA grades are like the end all be all for anything like that. And I do think Kyle Shanahan's a good coach. I mean, that's not what I'm trying to say here, but I'm just saying if you look at if you just look at the numbers, only had a top 10 offense 3 times in the last 10 seasons. Well, you get back to that magical year like you're talking about with RG3. And yes, I understand that a decade ago, what RG3 was doing in the NFL was completely different from anything that it's almost, I'm not going to say it's commonplace now, but we got mobile quarterbacks now. Mm-hmm. That's a thing. But with a guy like with a guy like Trey Lance and what he brings to the table, and what if you are this creative offensive mind and this offensive guru, what that allows you to do with your play calling, what that allows you to do as an offense, opens things up so incredibly much that's why I think the more I hear these rumblings coming out, and you posed the question in the first hour of, do we honestly think it's a possibility that Jimmy G doesn't start game 1?
No.
I think it is a possibility. I definitely think it is a possibility.
I think that's an absolute possibility. I was more interested if you think the situation in New England is a possibility with Mac Jones. What the best bet I've seen on the board, and all these ones we've been flashing up, to the stage of elimination for the Niners, plus money in the wild card round, plus money in the division round. I know you think there's a possibility they won't make the playoffs, but I think if I bet those two, plus 290 and plus 350, those are the two bets I want on the Niners, and I'll just sit back and watch them get to the playoffs. Because I don't think they're a threat to get to the championship game. I don't.
The skill, look, Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, we still haven't even seen Jalen Hurd step on the field, right? I mean, he was drafted 2 years ago. The guy hasn't even played a down yet, right? I mean, so they've got the talent. Of course, George Kittle, one of the most talented guys that's out there. It's just been the quarterback position, which is why I haven't been able to buy in on this team. That said, I think my opinion could change if they decide to go with Lance from day one, because I think he brings enough of a different element for this team to be really scary.